Well, here we are. Welcome back everyone to Tripping at Oz episode 9. Now this is a special episode to us as we arrive in Kununurra, the place we met and decided to spend the rest of our lives together. This is a longer episode, so grab a few drinks and a chair and I hope you can stay and watch the whole episode. I reckon you might actually enjoy this one. So, as we arrived in town, we decided to go straight to the visitor centre. Karen went in and I stayed at the car looking over at the bank, remembering the first time we spoke was actually right there. The first time I seen Karen was at the Gulliver's Tavern, which was right next door. We passed each other in the bar and I thought, gee, she's alright. Then, if I remember, it was a couple of nights later, I noticed her again at the Kununurra Hotel. I kept looking over at her and she was looking back. I was there with some friends, one of them which was Barbara, who kept telling me, go talk to her, Red, go and talk to her. But I was too shy. Karen went to the toilets and Barb followed her in there and told her that I was keen on her. Anyway, I still chickened out once again when she came back, and it was a few days later I was with Barb again and we were getting some money out of that ATM when Karen came walking down the street. Barb says, here she comes, Red, that chick you like. At that point I ducked down underneath the cruiser. As she approached, Barb being Barb, she just calls me out and I had to say hi. Anyway, we chatted for a minute and I organised to meet her at the hotel for a drink on a Friday night. And that was the beginning. Anyway, Karen came back from the visitor centre and we had to go and find somewhere to camp as all the caravan parks and overflows were full. So off we went and we eventually found the local water supply tank and we camped there for the night. The next morning we woke early and decided to pack up and move down to the local boat ramp on the Ord. We got down there and it was fantastic. The water was like glass. We set up the kitchen and had a coffee and some toast. After breakfast I took some great photos and then a water plane decided to take off right in front of us. It was great. And Cooper, once you get your pilot's licence, this is where you should come and work. Imagine how amazing it would be doing Argyle and Bungle flights. Plus you could give us free flights. Anyway, after the plane took off, we packed up and headed out to the famous Ivanhoe Crossing. Now, Ivanhoe was one of Karen's favourite spots to go for a swim on the weekends with her friends. I also came down a few times myself for a swim, and occasionally with the boys when we'd had a few to drink to look for crocs. It was a great spot for fishing for barra, and you had to keep your eyes open for the crocs. There are mainly freshwater crocs, but every now and then you get some very large salties that appear. Ivanhoe Crossing was actually first built in around 1948 as part of the main road through to Wyndham. As we came back across the crossing, I remember once all those years ago, I came down here one weekend and there was lots of little Indigenous kids and they were jumping in the calm side and finding their way through the pipes under the road and shooting out the other side. I just thought to myself how dangerous it was, but they were having so much fun. Anyway, after we had a look around down at Ivanhoe Crossing and done a few runs across backwards and forwards to get some footage, we decided we would go back into town and head down to the diversion dam before setting up at the caravan park. The construction of the Kununurra diversion dam across the Ord River was completed in 1963. This development marked the completion of the first stage of the Ord River scheme. The major capital investment also led to the establishment of the town of Kununurra, which was built as a service centre for the scheme. The Kununurra diversion dam was built on the Bandicoot Bar and was designed to divert water from the Ord River onto the Ivanhoe Plain for irrigation. The Kununurra diversion dam comprised of 20 radial gates mounted with the concrete framework and spillway structure to cater for the fluctuating river levels. During the wet season, the gates opened to allow the floodwaters to pass through, while limiting flooding of adjacent agricultural land. During the dry season, the gates closed to allow for water storage, and the diversion to the irrigation channel ensuring a year-round supply of water. Well, good afternoon guys, we're in our camp spot now. It's in the afternoon, we've set up. Going to get out shortly and have some dinner and go to the Gulliver's Tavern where we met. Anyway, this is our campsite for the next couple of nights. The river down there. And, that's the camp kitchen. And the shady trees. So we finally made it to Gulliver's Tavern and decided just to have a quick drink and head back to the caravan park and cook up some steaks I'd just purchased. Gulliver's looked awesome and had been done up a little since we'd last seen it. Apart from the great selection of motorbikes mounted above the bar, it hadn't changed that much, which was great to see. When we got back to the caravan park, we also met our new neighbours, Ian and Janelle, a great couple who we caught up with a couple of times along the Ord River Road. G'day to both of you if you're watching. In the morning we got up early again and decided to head out to Lake Argyle. It was an interesting trip out there. They were doing burn-offs on the side of the road again. It was quite smoky and we were concerned we wouldn't get to see much when we got out there. But when we arrived, it had actually cleared as we got over the last hill and was fantastic. Now, we went past a place on the side of the road called Roy's Retreat, which was quite interesting. Must go back there one time and see what it's like. So we went up to the lookout, had a look there, and then ended up putting the drone up and having a look around with that and getting some great footage. Then we went down to the diversion dam bottom wall, had a look down there before heading back. On the way back, the smoke had got really thick, and then all of a sudden we were actually in amongst the fire again, like we did up at Gumbernon. This time it was 3 times as bad, and the flames were hitting the side of the vehicle, even though we were on the other side of the road. There was birds flying everywhere, eagles diving for the mice and lizards and snakes that were everywhere all over the road trying to get away from the fire. Unfortunately, we didn't get any footage of it because it just came upon us really quick and we didn't want to go back through again just to get footage. But it was quite scary, and yeah, we were glad once we got through it out the other side. Now, for those who are interested, in 1967 the Commonwealth Government provided a grant for the construction of the Ord River Dam to provide a major storage reservoir called Lake Argyle. Lake Argyle is now one of the world's largest man-made water bodies and was formed by the earth and the rock-filled dam in the Carboyd Ranges. The Ord River Dam was completed in 1972, with the work carried out over 3 dry seasons. The dam was designed to never overflow at the main embankment, with a 2.2 kilometre overflow cut through solid rock between 2 hills, 8 kilometres from the dam wall. When the Ord River Dam was completed, it became the largest capacity dam in Australia. It was equivalent to 11.2 times the Sydney Harbour. The flow from both dams was regulated to maintain a stable level in Lake Kununurra, which enabled the water to be diverted by gravity to the Ivanhoe Plains. The permanent water supply to Lake Kununurra also enabled the development of the irrigated land of the adjacent pack settle plains. In the early 1990s, it was decided that the hydroelectric power station would be built at the base of the main Ord Dam. In order to be able to guarantee a reliable supply of energy, high water level was needed to be maintained in the lake. Engineers determined that by building a weir across the spillway, they could safely rise the storage by 6 metres. This almost doubled the volume to 21 times the Sydney Harbour. So we finished up at Lake Argyle and fought our way back through the fires and decided that we would go back to Kununurra and visit the mini bungle bungles, the Mirima National Park. Mirima National Park contains spectacular natural rock formations. The rocks were formed from sediment deposited by creeks and windblown sand about 300 million years ago. Mirima is a culturally significant place for the local Mirrawong people. For those of years, the natural features of the Mirima have attracted the local Aboriginal people. The rock formations provided shelter, rock holes provided permanent water, and plants and animals are used for food, tools and medicine. Cultural ceremonies continue to be performed at special sites within this park. It is also known as the Hidden Valley. When I lived here over 30 years ago, I didn't know this place even existed. I was only living here for 6 months. But thanks to a YouTube channel I'm subscribed to, Big Oz Explorers, Sean and Chris, thanks for all your information and help. It's made a lot of difference through our tours. Now there are about 6 trails here at Mirima. Unfortunately, the day we went, most of them were actually closed for renovations or upgrading, and they were blocked off. We did get to walk through a couple of them and they were fantastic. I highly recommend going there and having a good look around and climbing up the hill. You can actually access it from 2 different places as well. We only went to the one place, but yeah, it's fantastic and I wish we had more time to have gone and had another look around. So after visiting Mirima National Park, we were feeling a little bit thirsty. So Karen and I decided we'd go out to Hoochery. We're at the Ord River Distillery.
We bought some gin and some spiced rum and a dairy-free cake that I can eat. Here he comes with the goodies. I'll show you inside.
So after visiting the hoochery, Cara and I headed back to the caravan park. We decided to go for a walk around and have a look at the river and the views, the caravan park itself, and it was just absolutely amazing place to stay. We've had such an awesome day, and the gin and the spiced rum, oh my god, it was just fantastic. I've tried to buy it in Perth, but unfortunately it's not available, so I'm going to have to order some now from Kununurra. Anyway, we'll catch you in the morning. We're going to have an early night and then go and visit the gorges tomorrow. Morning guys, we just arrived at a place called Molly Springs. It's about 3 k's off the highway to Wyndham from Kununurra. This is a little bit of a thing if you want to read it. Seems nice in here. Toilets over there, I'm just using, they're quite nice, clean. But I've just seen a between 5 and 6 foot long snake on the road just at the entrance here. Big, it looked black, but it was in the shade, so it's a bit hard to tell. So always be wary where you're walking. It's a kilometre in, or half a kilometre in, half a kilometre back. I reckon it's a 30-minute walk. Hopefully there's some water and we can have a swim. But we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you out there. There's a barbecue set up out here.
Put some snake on that.
Look, a bit of water to cross straight away. Nice clear water. Hopefully it gets a bit clearer in there to swim in. You right? These are an amazing palm. Look at the twist in that. See some people in here swimming, so in here. Oh my god! Oh! Oh, here we are, Black Rock Falls. Just arrived. Bit of a rough track in. Good swim at Molly Springs. Hopefully there's some water here too. What do we got? 300 metres return. Allowed 20 minutes. The Guyan. Alright, so that's only a short distance in, that's good. Again, you feel the coolness as you walk in. Wow, pretty amazing. Nice to come here just after wet season. Butterflies flying around everywhere. Lots of butterflies. Wow. They'll probably all go for Karen because she's wearing pink and they'll think it's flowers. Not much water here, unfortunately. There is some. I'm going to have a look at it. Not much at all. A very beautiful place. No, I won't be swimming in it. It's pretty gross actually. Apparently it's very nice. It's wet season though. Next spot, Middle Spring. Looks nice in the photo. Obviously we're coming at the wrong time of the year to see these beautiful places. It is beautiful in here still, but no, hardly any water. Just go down and have a look down here. Yeah, not much water in here unfortunately, and not very clean either. they would be straight in there. Water's not too bad. A little bit murky. Lots of little fish. Well, we finished up out at the gorges and decided to head back into town. We went back to the caravan park and had a quick swim and cleaned ourselves up. It was then we decided I'd take Karen out to the chick shed. Now, when we arrived, we were amazed at the property as it backed up onto the Ord River. I would have to say it was easily the best property I have seen in Kununurra. It has a huge studio for her functional art, glasswork and pottery. Janine, the owner, and her work were fantastic. It's definitely a place you should all visit. Everything was well priced, and they also do weddings, functions on the property, and you can see why in my drone footage. I haven't put up any inside shots, as it's best you see for yourself how wonderful it really is. Now this wraps up the end of episode 9 and our awesome visit to Kununurra. We did have one more day with our stay here, but we just spent packing, shopping and getting organised for our next adventure, which is the journey up the Ord River Road. Now I'd like to say once again thanks for watching. It really does mean a lot to us and I hope you can stick around for our next one. Please, if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit the like button, and please, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. So thanks again, stay safe, and we will see you on the Gib.